Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. Today I have a what's for breakfast video for you. I'll be sharing 4 easy and budget-friendly breakfast ideas that you and your family will love. Today's video is also part of a collab hosted by Bethany over at Budget Bethany. I'll list her channel as well as the playlist in the description box below. After you watch this video, be sure to go check out the playlist for some more great breakfast ideas. Thanks to Bethany for hosting and to everyone who participated in the collab. If you came to my channel from the playlist, welcome. I hope you enjoy and I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Let's get into today's video. For the first breakfast, I'm going to make some easy glazed donuts. My dad used to make these for us growing up and they were always a really yummy treat. So you will need some canned biscuits. I'm using these Grand's Homestyle biscuits. You can use whatever your favorite biscuits are. Just make sure that you don't use like the flaky layered biscuits. You want to use more of the Homestyle. You'll then need some oil to fry your donuts in. Here I've got some canola oil in my cast iron skillet over about medium heat, and you'll heat that to 350 degrees. Next, I have my station here. I've just got a couple of wire racks. One has some paper towels on it. That's where I'll put the donuts as soon as they come out of the grease. And the other one is plain. That's where I will glaze my donuts. I'm using a smaller can, so I'll have 5 donuts and 5 donut holes, but a regular size can will make about 8 biscuits, but you can easily double this recipe. And what I've done is I've just cut a center out of my biscuits. I just used a cap to a bottle of vinegar. Next, I'm going to glaze my donuts. Now, I don't have an exact recipe for this, but you basically just take some powdered sugar, add a little bit of milk and some vanilla and stir that together. You can also just toss your biscuits in some butter and cinnamon sugar, or you can make a chocolate glaze, whatever you and your family like. We always fried our donuts, but I just wanted to see how they would turn out in the air fryer, so I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. I'm cooking it for 360 degrees for about 2 minutes. I'll flip it and cook it for the other 2 minutes, and I'm only doing 1 just to try it. Now that my oil is 350 degrees, I'm just going to drop in my biscuits. They do not take very long to cook at all, maybe a minute on each side, but just keep an eye on them. Mine got a little bit brown, but they were still really delicious. Once the donuts are cooked, I'm going to put those on my paper towel lined wire rack and allow those to sit for just a couple of seconds to get some of the oil off. I'm then going to take each donut and donut hole, dunk it in my glaze, and put it on my other wire rack. I'm going to allow that to sit for about a minute just to let the glaze sit, and then that's it. Breakfast will be ready. Here are the donuts. The air fryer donut, it was good, but we prefer the fried over the air fryer. But if you want to make these even faster and easier, you don't want to heat the oil up, the air fryer is a great option. These donuts are so good. They're easy, they're quick, they're budget friendly. Breakfast took about 15 minutes to put together. For this next breakfast idea, I'm going to make what I call egg cups, or some people call these omelet muffins. You will need some eggs, a little bit of milk, some seasonings of your choice. I'm just using some salt and pepper and some Tony's, and then you'll need some cooking spray. To get started, I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Next, I'm going to take my measuring cup. I like to add my eggs to a measuring cup. It just makes it easier to pour into the muffin tin. And I'm going to crack my eggs. I normally use 6, but I had 7 in this carton, so I just used 7 this morning. I'm then going to add my milk. I added about 1/2 cup. I'm then going to add my seasonings to taste. Again, use whatever seasonings you and your family like. Next, I'm going to take my fork and whisk those together really well and then set my egg mixture aside. I'm going to take my muffin tin, and you want to generously spray this with cooking spray. These eggs can stick, so be generous with your cooking spray. Next, I'm going to take my toppings and place those in the bottom of the muffin tin. Now, this is what I love about this recipe. Use whatever you love. Use whatever you have on hand or whatever's in your fridge that you need to clean out. Today, I'm using some mushrooms, tomato, ham, spinach, and some bacon crumbles. I'm just going to chop those finely and add those to the bottom. But like I said, use whatever you have on hand and whatever your family likes. Next, I'm going to add just a little bit of shredded cheese to each tin. Sometimes I use cheese, sometimes I don't. And every time I make these, they're always different because I just use whatever I've got in the fridge that day. Next, I'm going to add my egg mixture into each little tin. Next, I'm going to take a fork and just kind of mix it just a little bit. I'm really just making sure that the spinach is down into the egg. Finally, I'm going to cook these for about 18 to 20 minutes or until a knife inserted into the center comes out clean. And here are the eggs out of the oven. Now, when you first pull them out, they will be souffled and puffed up a little bit, but they'll settle back down. I love to make a batch of these on Sunday so that we have breakfast for the first few days of the upcoming week. It makes a really quick and easy breakfast. All you have to do is pop these in the microwave for a few seconds to heat up. So for breakfast this morning, I've got the egg cups along with some fresh fruit. On my husband's plate, I have a leftover piece of banana bread that I warmed up along with some butter for him. This is a really quick and easy and healthy breakfast. Another thing that I like to do is to warm the egg cups up with a slice of cheese and then whatever breakfast meat and bread that I have on hand for a quick and easy breakfast sandwich. But that's breakfast today. For breakfast this morning, I'm making a McMuffin Casserole. I got this recipe years ago from Plain Chicken, and this is one of our favorites. I will link her recipe as well as recipes for the rest of today's video in the description box below. So you will need some eggs, milk, salt and pepper, English muffins, Canadian bacon, and shredded cheese, and that's all you'll need. And I really like this recipe because it's a good spin on the traditional breakfast casserole. I'm going to start this the night before so it can set overnight in the fridge. So to get started, I'm going to spray my 8x8 casserole dish with some cooking spray. I'm going to take 4 English muffins, cut those in half, and then cut those into large chunks. Now, like I said, this is better if it can set the night before, but if you forget or you don't have time, you can just put it together the morning of. I've done that several times. It still turns out just fine. I'm going to take half of my English muffins and put those in my casserole dish. Next, I'm going to take my Canadian bacon and I'm going to cut that up into chunks. I'm then going to take about half of the Canadian bacon and put that on top of the English muffin layer. Next, I'm going to sprinkle on about a half a cup of shredded cheese. Now, this would be great to make for Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day because, again, you make this the night before. So all you'd have to do on those 2 very busy days is just pop this into the oven that morning. This recipe makes 4 generous sized servings, but you can easily double it or triple it depending on the size of your family, and it's very budget friendly. Next, I'm going to repeat my layers, so I'm going to add the remaining English muffins, the rest of the Canadian bacon, and my other half cup of shredded cheese. I'm going to set that aside, and in a small separate bowl, I'm going to add my milk, my salt and pepper, my eggs, and whisk that together. Next, I'm going to take my egg mixture, pour it over my casserole. I'm going to cover it with foil, place it in the refrigerator, and let it sit overnight. The next morning, I'm going to place this into my preheated oven. Now, the recipe says to cook this at 325 degrees for about 45 minutes, but mine always takes longer. So what I have found works best for me is to cook this covered with foil for 45 minutes, remove the foil, and cook it for another 15 minutes. Now, here is the finished casserole out of the oven. I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes to cool slightly and to allow the eggs to sit. And here are the plates. I have the casserole along with some fresh pineapple. I like my casserole plain. My husband likes to add some hot sauce and ketchup to his. The recipe does suggest that you can drizzle a little maple syrup over it, but we haven't tried that. But I highly recommend this recipe, and that's breakfast. Today for breakfast, I'm making another one of our favorites. This is a German pancake. This is really quick and easy to put together. It's also really budget friendly. You probably already have everything in your fridge and pantry that you need to make this. So to get started, you'll need some flour, sugar, butter, some milk, vanilla, a little bit of salt, and some eggs. To go along with the pancake, I'm going to make these chicken breakfast sausages. I got these from Aldi. This is their apple maple version. We've tried this as well as the country style. Both are really good. I'm just going to place these on a cookie sheet and cook these along with the pancake. To get started, I've got my oven preheating to 450 degrees. I'm going to place my butter in my casserole dish and then place that into the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes. I am having this recipe, but I will include the full recipe in the description box below. It makes a 9x13, which easily feeds 6 to 8 people. Next, I'm going to pull out my blender, and this is what I love about this recipe. It's so quick and easy. All you do is dump the rest of the ingredients into your blender, blend it up, and you're done. So into my blender, I'm going to add my eggs, then the milk, then the flour, then the sugar, the vanilla, and the salt. And finally, I'm going to blend this. It does not take very long at all. It takes maybe 30 seconds. You just want to blend it until it's well incorporated. I'm then going to take my baking dish out of the oven, add in my mixture, and place it back into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes or until it's puffy and golden and it looks like this. And here are the finished plates. I just sprinkled on a little powdered sugar, and then we have some maple syrup to go with it. And again, I have the chicken sausages that I just baked alongside the German pancake, and that's breakfast today. Again, this is really quick and easy to put together, and I know your family will love it. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.